SonAmy? Yes, you read the title, that's what we're talking about today. Ships in fictional media. I don't care for it. I don't really see why there's so much obsession over taking two random characters from a series and saying you want them to be a couple when it's not backed up by the series it's from. Doesn't make sense to me. I see it on Twitter all the time, and my reaction can be summed up as,
"That won't last, he's gay and she's an alien."
And this isn't any more prevalent than in the Sonic fandom. Stay clear of DeviantArt if you're new here. A lot of these fanships are just, huh? Which is interesting because relationships and romance in the Sonic series are practically non-existent.
Why you booing me? I'm right!
In terms of something that is backed up by the games at least.
What in the world?
Oh yeah, that's a thing. Not today's topic, but Knuckles and Rouge is such a fun dynamic. They both antagonize and frustrate each other so easily, it's like clockwork. I just love it. As if their personalities were handcrafted specifically to mesh together for chemistry. And this remains consistent for years to come. But, like I said, not the topic for today. So, Sonic and Amy. Yeah, I can see about half of you in the audience are cheering and the other half are calling me stupid. So let me fill you in a little background here. For Sonic CD, Amy Rose was created with the sole purpose of being a love interest for Sonic, akin to something like Minnie Mouse. I mean, her design makes that pretty clear, she's pretty much a pink Sonic in a skirt. But unlike Minnie Mouse, her design still makes her feel like a unique character compared to Sonic. Partially designed by Naoto Oshima and finalized by Kazuki Hoshino. I'm not good at pronouncing Japanese names, I'm sorry. However, it was decided that Sonic was not a character suited to have a love interest, so they decided to make it more of a one-sided affair, with Sonic himself being depicted as less than enthusiastic about it. And as the series evolved, this character trait of one-sided love was focused on more, but over time got a little bit extreme. In Sonic Adventure, she was rather flirty and affectionate towards him, but never went too far with it, and doing a good job of showcasing her kind and unselfish nature, which leads to bringing out the best in other characters. But by Sonic Heroes, that personality was completely flanderized. It's like the writers took that one moment from SA2 where she jokes about Sonic marrying her in exchange for freeing him, and said, "Yup, Amy wants to force Sonic to marry her and nothing will get in her way." I mean, in SA1, she daydreams about seeing Sonic again. SA2, she tracks Sonic down to rescue him from Prison Island. Sonic Heroes onwards, her entire existence has no purpose other than to follow him to the ends of the earth. That's her whole deal. Yeah, totally. Resulting in Amy becoming less popular in the eyes of many as her behavior towards Sonic was seen as kinda stalkerish and harassing, with Sonic himself always running away, or seeming rather uncomfortable around her. And she even goes as far as self-proclaiming to be Sonic's girlfriend to other characters. Okay, chill out girl, please. Thankfully, over time, this status quo was toned down a bit. Heck, for many years, Sonic not being allowed to be depicted in any form of romance has been a mandate for a while. Probably because of this. Which is why many don't think Sonic and Amy can work as a couple, due to Sonic's reactions to Amy.
This way, I'll be able to keep my eyes on you.
Ugh.
Or saying Sonic is supposed to be free like the wind, he's not supposed to be tied down by anything. Or going by the Adventure era's ages in the manuals, pointing out the 3-year age difference between 12 and 15. But as discussed in a short I made, everyone seems to have missed the part where I said those ages don't really count, as those characters basically have an approximation of an age group, and the specific age numbers in those old manuals have never really been acknowledged and aren't really canon anymore anyway because they were removed from the official bios. Which is kind of a relief, because that would make 16-year-old Knuckles and 18-year-old Rouge super awkward. Oh shoot, why did I point that out? Many have brought Sonic's sexuality into question, with many claiming he must be either gay or asexual, but as I said earlier, almost no character is depicted with any interest in each other, with exceptions being in licensed media such as the Archie comics and Sonic X, which don't really tie into the canon of the games. Although I may add that in the Sonic Adventure and Adventure 2 adaptations for Sonic X, Sonic Team was involved and incorporated sprinkles of lore left out by the games, an example being more details about Maria on Space Colony Arc, but not much beyond tidbits like that. Most of what happens in Sonic X is just the writers doing their own thing. Heck, not even they could decide if Sonic wants nothing to do with Amy or has affection towards her. Kind of flip-flop between it. But back to the games, in terms of Sonic, I think the main intent is that Amy is just a bit much for him at times. There's no ignoring he definitely has a soft spot for her, as he cares for her safety, and both characters seem to have calmed down around each other and gotten closer as the years went by. Sometimes both people in real life and fictional characters just don't have an interest in or see the appeal of dating, but that doesn't mean they are incapable of developing feelings for another. Now, the real question is, can Sonic and Amy actually be a couple? Let's track their personal history and find out. I feel like Sonic warmed up to Amy over time, kinda based on my own experiences. When I was about 16, I had never dated and wasn't interested in it. But then there was this girl. She was pretty difficult to get away from. She wanted to be wherever I was, and I was often doing my best to avoid her. And she was more affectionate than I could possibly bear. But over the span of that year, the more I was around her, the more I got used to talking to her. The more we experienced life around ourselves, I started seeing her very differently. And things started to change. Annoying and strange though she seemed, also curious and kind. There was something quite special about her. And honestly, all these years later, I'm kind of glad she didn't leave me alone. From the very beginning in Sonic CD, we see bird squawking in the background, thank you. From the very beginning in Sonic CD, we see he cares for her safety, but not enough to stick around. Is he shy? Does he just not know how to act around a girl? Maybe it's easier to run away, and that's how it went. Game after game, just running. In Sonic Adventure, Amy recognizes Sonic from a distance, and he is pretty shocked to see her.
What's wrong with you anyway?
I might also add this is probably the first time they've seen each other since both hit puberty. Maybe? And while with each encounter he still tries to run from her, but will always stop to help if she seems to be in danger. I mean, how are you supposed to interact with a girl when you're 15? I certainly didn't know. Escape? Possibly the better option! But they did get closer, as Amy did become part of the main crew in a way, with her and Sonic's friendship getting stronger, although he still shows signs of being uncomfortable when she pushes her boundaries. And then there's Unleashed, where everything changed. When Amy didn't recognize Sonic, his reaction says it all. Not only is he self-conscious about being a monster, but he becomes visibly aggravated when she doesn't recognize him. And after he saves her, when she turns to look at him, he can't keep eye contact before deciding on the spot to run for it. It's subtle, but Sonic's body language tells a story here. Great attention to detail from the animators. But even after that, she admits it doesn't matter to her what he looks like. He's still her Sonic. And by the end of the game, before heading to Eggman Land, there is an optional dialogue with Amy where she asks, when this is all over and the world is saved, will Sonic go on a date with her? To which the player is granted with the selectable options of yes and no, but of course neither option really goes anywhere. In Unleashed, at least. In Sonic and the Black Knight, at the end of the game, Sonic tells his adventure. He is telling it to...
But I gotta tell you, it was no picnic.
Aren't you forgetting something?
Amy, who angrily claims to not believe him as it was an excuse for forgetting their date?
Would have thought I was the real King Arthur. Huh.
That's the lamest excuse ever! You just forgot about our date!
No, it's true, I tell ya!
Is this just Amy's usual one-sidedness, or was this mutually agreed on? Or is this a follow-up to the optional dialogue in Sonic Unleashed? I mean, at the beginning of the game, Sonic is holding two chili dogs. Either he was feeling particularly greedy that morning, or one of them was meant for someone else.
Yikes! No! Amy, wait! Put down that hammer!
Hey! You get back here, Sonic!
Okay, Amy Rose is definitely someone you should never stand up. In this medieval world of knights and castles, some characters bear the appearance of faces from Sonic's homeworld, including the Lady of the Lake, who Sonic clearly wasn't ready for.
I've been waiting for you, knight from another world.
Whoa!
Fool, where are you going?
With his first instincts becoming panic, and then, for whatever reason, immediately becomes a little too comfortable with her.
Show some respect.
Wonder what was going through his head. The late 2000s was an interesting era with subtle and consistent writing. I particularly like how in Black Knight, Sonic brings up events from past games like Sonic Adventure 2. It would be nice to wonder where it could have gone from here, but sadly right after Sonic and the Black Knight, the Sonic series went through a bit of a rebrand, and with it a lot of things changed. Previous continuity wasn't really followed up on, and the game's stories were pretty much just episodic one-offs, and the character writing didn't have much going for it. Amy just kind of faded into the background with Sonic's other friends, all of which had become rather underutilized and very one-note. Thankfully, this didn't last forever, as 2022 marked the start of a new era of Sonic, influenced by the mistakes of its last, where continuity and character writing had suddenly taken main priority.
It's Sonic who named me Eggman. Except the joke's on him. I embraced the name. I made it my own. His mockery is now a name feared across the ages. I'm not going to adopt Baldy McNose here, though. My dignity has limits.
In Sonic Frontiers, Amy, Tails, and Knuckles all have their moment to shine as characters, with Sonic having a lot of meaningful interactions with all three, as this game really goes out of its way to show how important they are to him. But those with Amy are rather interesting. When Sonic finds Amy trapped in a cyber prison, we are shown more informative body language from him, focusing on his hand clenching. Something else to note is the memory tokens Sonic collects to free her are shaped like love hearts. Each of Sonic's friends have a different token associated with them, and in Sonic Frontiers we are told that Sonic is entangled with cyberspace. Many cyber places and objects take form based on his memories. Just keep that in mind. The scenes with Sonic and Amy together in Kronos Island have a sort of calmness to them. We haven't really seen these two interact the way they do here, Sonic not being awkward and Amy not obsessing over him, with both working together to figure out their situation, as well as helping the Coco, including reuniting a pair of Coco lovers. They both seem to have matured quite a bit over these years. It's nice seeing they've both grown up and grown closer. They share a really sweet moment, showing a bit of shared admiration. Even if somewhat platonic, it's definitely undeniable there's something more under the surface. But for the time being, they both seem content with the relationship they have, and it will probably remain that way for a while. Will things change? I doubt it. A change in status quo has always been rare for the Sonic series, which will keep running indefinitely.
And anyway, what exactly is supposed to come of this? Do you guys want them to just start being boyfriend and girlfriend? Do you want a future game to have a big climactic story moment where Sonic says, "I love you," and they kiss? Is this really a series that you think this would fit in? This isn't a series about shipping and relationships, no matter how much fans will claim it is. But I can't deny a massive appeal to it is its characters and the dynamics they bounce off each other. If Sonic and Amy are to be written with more chemistry, I personally think they can be written as characters who balance each other out and bring out the best in one another. I think that would suit the both of them very well. But will Sonic Team and its writers go any further with this? I remain uncertain, but who knows? This series has a way of surprising us every now and then. Even cold-hearted Dr. Eggman, who purposely distances himself from other living beings, who's only ever cared about himself, recently found himself someone else for him to really care about. And that says a lot.
Oh yeah, and in Sonic Boom, these versions of Sonic and Amy are 1000% dating. They will never admit to it, but they ain't fooling any of the other characters.
Stay tuned, and Wait, hold on a second! Sonic Team officially confirmed Sonic had feelings for Amy? In a magazine? In 2005? He's just too shy to confess his feelings? Huh. That's the same way I interpreted it. And made this whole video for.
Oh my god, you're totally obsessed with those two.
I'm just being logical to the source material.
Are you sure?
Maybe.
Stay tuned. Stay awesome. Bye.